What are the pros and cons of Stony Creek you need to know before buying a home and relocating your family? Well, in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down the top 22 pros and cons I discuss with all my clients before they relocate to Stony Creek to see if it's the right fit from them. From the real estate to the shopping, to the schools, to the safety, to the parks, to the entertainment, as well as some of the cons that are an absolute deal breaker for some of my clients. So if you want to learn what everything you need to know before moving to Stony Creek is, make sure you keep on watching. But the very first pro associated with Stony Creek is its location, as it's located on the easternmost part of Hamilton and contains the most majority of waterfront Hamilton has to offer you that you can enjoy. Now, Stony Creek is quite large, and you can break it down into a variety of different sections. You have Central Stony Creek, which is the most established area with established back splits, side splits, and bungalows in mature trees in the original downtown area. And here you're going to find the most amount of shopping options, the best public transit. However, the homes are going to be a little bit older. However, not always a negative, as you can find bigger lots, and if they've been renovated, can offer some spectacular features. Then the next area you may want to consider is the Stony Creek waterfront. Now, this here is located right on Lake Ontario, so if you want to live right beside the water, this is the best spot to do it. However, the main con here is you're quite isolated from the rest of the Stony Creek area because of the QEW that splits it up from the rest, and therefore it's primarily only residential. Then on the further side of Stony Creek, you will find Winona. This here is going to offer you established neighborhoods built in the early 2000s, as well as a huge shopping center here with a Costco in it. However, it is the furthest east, so it's going to offer you the longest time of commute into the Greater Toronto area. However, if you're commuting Niagara, this offers the shortest time. Then you have the Stony Creek Mountain, which is the most amount of new development here. It's located on the Hamilton Mountain essentially, and here you're going to find a variety of different shopping plazas to enjoy. However, the biggest con here is it's got the highest density of homes as well as the most amount of traffic bottlenecks within this area. And then the final area in Stony Creek is the Stony Creek Rural Mountain. Here, you're going to find some huge estates with potentially stunning views. However, there's really not much here other than a variety of farm fields. Now, if you want to learn more about all the different shopping, parks, schools, and more, we're going to be discussing that in today's video. But as you can see, one of the next pros about living in Stony Creek, because of all these different regions, is the real estate variety and size. As to break down all these sales that have happened in the last 12 months in Hamilton, Stony Creek has the third highest amount to choose from, just behind Central Hamilton and the Hamilton Mountain, with Stony Creek's total sales ranking 15% of all of Hamilton. Now, the majority of Stony Creek sales really happen in two spaces: the Stony Creek Mountain as well as Central Stony Creek, as that made up over 70% of the sales. Now, the most common property types in each region, as you can see in the Rural Mountain and Winona as well as Central Stony Creek, it's primarily detached homes. Out in Winona, you're going to have it split about 50-50 from homes to townhomes. The waterfront is going to offer the most amount of condo options to choose from. Now, if you want to get a complete breakdown of what the actual real estate prices are in Stony Creek, as well as all the smaller areas that make up Stony Creek, keep on watching. But the next thing you need to know about living in Stony Creek is the property taxes, as here you're going to find that Hamilton, which Stony Creek of course is a part of, is going to have slightly higher taxes than Burlington, Oakville, and Milton. However, it is still lower than Toronto and Niagara Falls, as in the study done in 2024, it was rated 20th out of the 30 cities they looked at property taxes across Canada. However, one of the biggest pros of living in Stony Creek is going to be the amazing shopping options, as on the Stony Creek Mountain, you're going to find the Red Hill Valleys Plaza that offers a Home Depot, a Best Buy, an Indigo, Cineplex, PetSmart, and many more restaurants to choose from, to Rymos Plaza that offers a Canadian Tire, a Winners, a Walmart, Fortino's, and again, a variety of restaurants to choose from. Then out east in Winona, you'll find the Costco Plaza that has a huge Costco, a Metro, LCBO, Starbucks, and more smaller shops and restaurants to choose from. And then in central Stony Creek, you're going to offer a variety of different plazas to choose from. Typically speaking, they're going to be either on Centennial or Highway 8. And at this intersection here is where you're going to find the most amount of shopping options, as that's where Eastgate Square Mall is located, which is the main shopping mall in Stony Creek with more than 100 name brand stores to choose from, and is currently the largest transit terminal that easily connects you to the rest of Hamilton through buses. However, this soon will be home to the end stop of the LRT B line coming to Hamilton, with more future plans to continue this development around Stony Creek, offering a variety of great investment opportunities if you can buy close to here. Now, not only will you find a variety of shopping centers in all these different plazas, but the other thing you're going to be finding in Stony Creek is amazing downtown, in particular the Stony Creek Central downtown, as here you're going to find some amazing local gems like the powerhouse that was originally the Stony Creek powerhouse that provided power to the rail lines in the 1890s, however has been refurbished and now offers an amazing restaurant with fantastic burgers. But you'll also find the Village Restaurant, a perfect spot to grab any breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or the Flames, offering some amazing Indian and Pakistani cuisine. Now, if you want to learn where the #1 barbecue spot is in Stony Creek, and in my opinion, the best barbecue in all of Hamilton, keep on watching. However, one of the cons about living in Stony Creek is the car dependency and traffic bottlenecks that it causes. Now, this is really depending. Again, like I mentioned, if you're living close to Eastgate Square Mall in central Stony Creek, you're going to have some great public transit options to choose from. However, if you're living in the Stony Creek waterfront, if you're living in Winona, if you're living in the Stony Creek mountain or the rural area of the mountain as well, here, you're going to be relying on a car, and as a result, you're going to have a few major bottlenecks, especially if you're commuting to the rest of the GTA. First would be going over the Skyway. That can get definitely backed up at times. If you're on the Stony Creek Mountain, it can definitely get backed up going up the Red Hill Valley Parkway. However, once you get off the highway, for the most part, the traffic moves pretty well. The only other bottleneck I would quickly mention is the central part of Stony Creek and occasionally Regional Road 8, otherwise known as Main Street. However, with that said, like I mentioned, depending on where you're living, you're going to find some fantastic public transit options, as not only do you have the LRT coming to the Stony Creek area right beside Eastgate Square Mall, but you will also have them shortly finishing up the Confederation Go, which originally was just a Go bus station. However, they have gone under a huge renovation to extend the Lakeshore West line to continue this one here. So shortly, you will be seeing a Go train every 30 minutes coming from here and taking you out to Union Station. But then also in central Stony Creek in particular, you're going to find many different bus routes to choose from, with the most converging around Eastgate Square Mall. Then one of the other pros my clients absolutely love about living in Stony Creek is the amazing local events and festivals you can enjoy. As here out east, you'll find the Winona Peach Festival in Winona that happens every year in late August, where this park truly comes to life, and it's been going on since 1967 and continues to celebrate the local harvest every single year. In particular, you gotta try the local peaches, but you also have local artists selling their arts and crafts here, as well as a variety of games, rides, and live music the whole family can enjoy. Then the next event you need to check out is the Stony Creek Rib and Beer Festival that happens every July, typically in the Eastgate Square Mall Plaza, where you can find mouth-watering, finger-licking, belly-rubbing ribs and barbecue, and wash it all down with either a freshly squeezed lemonade or an ice-cold beer. Then the last two festivals I'll quickly mention that happen in Stony Creek are two music festivals. You got the Jazz in the Creek and Boots in the Creek that offer some amazing music from local artists close by. Now, if you're not able to make these once a year events, one event that happens on a routine basis in Stony Creek is the amazing Farmers Market, as this happens in the downtown area of central Stony Creek on King Street and goes from June to October every single Wednesday from 4 to 7 to pick up the freshest farm produce, artisanal made goods, and amazing sweet treats. Now, if you want to learn more about some other family fun activities that you and the family can enjoy, keep on watching. But if you can't make it to the farmers market, no worries, as you're going to also find many local farms that are open throughout the week. Two in particular would be Luna Farms, where they grow apples, plums, grapes, and offer seasonal pick-your-own apples and fruit for those who want to immerse themselves in the age-old fall tradition of harvesting fruit. Or you also have the Fruitland Farms, another great spot to pick up the freshest produce. Now, one of the reasons why the produce is so amazing here is because it's very close to the Niagara region, which has been historically known as an amazing spot to not only just grow produce, but more in particular, the amazing wineries and vineyards that happen here, which is our next pro, as there's more than 53 wineries that you can go from that are only just about an hour drive from where you're living in Stony Creek. Now, my personal favorite would have to be the Ridge Road Estate Winery, and it's been the same family running this winery here since 1875, and it's an amazing time visiting their tasting room. And now, while you will find a variety of wine choices to choose from within a short drive, one of the things Stony Creek is definitely lacking is the limited nightlife. You will have a couple of restaurants, a couple of bars that you can easily pick up a beer, pick up a cocktail, and enjoy it with catching up with some old friends. However, you're not going to be finding any club sittings here. You're either going to have to head to central Hamilton on Hess Street or out to somewhere in Toronto to get access to that. However, most of my clients really don't mind, as at the end of the day, they're just looking for a quick drink as well as to catch up with some old friends. However, one of the biggest cons about living in Stony Creek we're going to be covering in just a second, and you absolutely need to know about it. So make sure you stay tuned. But the next pro about living in Stony Creek is some amazing local businesses throughout. So in my opinion, the best barbecue spot, not just in Stony Creek, but the entirety of Hamilton and Niagara region, I'd put it up against anything, is the Memphis Fire Barbecue. Now, regardless of what neighborhood you choose, whether it's Stony Creek, whether it's Ancaster, Dundas, Waterdown, etc., you need to come here, as it's a 50s themed eatery that treats Southern barbecue like an art, that uses its hickory smoke to build the flavor in the brisket, the ribs, the pulled pork. And I promise you, it's been on many different shows like You Gotta Eat Here Canada, and you will not be disappointed. Another great local gem in Stony Creek is the Roma Bakery and Deli, which is one of the oldest staples in Stony Creek and was started back in 1952 as a bread delivery service, and now has blown up across Southern Ontario for its amazing pizza and tomato pies. Then a couple other spots you'll need to check out is the Greek Palace for amazing Greek food, as well as the Edgewater Manor, a perfect spot to celebrate any special occasions, as well as soak up some stunning views of Lake Ontario, to Maria's Tortas, in my opinion, one of the best spots in Hamilton to pick up authentic street Mexican food. Then one of the pros or cons, depending on how you're looking at it and what you're comparing it to, is the real estate prices in Stony Creek. Now, the median sold price in the past 12 months in Stony Creek for detached homes was $890,000. For townhomes, it was $710,000. And for condos, it was $471,000. And here on this chart here, you can see each of the different regions and where the vast majority of real estate is selling. As you can see, the Stony Creek Mountain really has a lot of options between that $600,000 and $900,000 mark, because there's a lot of townhomes selling within this price point here, with a few newer detached homes selling above $1 million. Then in terms of Central Stony Creek, you'll see it's a bit more spread out, anywhere from $500,000 for those condos and townhomes to those larger detached homes that have been renovated with a larger size lot selling above $1 million. Then out in Winona, you're going to be finding mainly homes that were priced, the townhomes between like $600,000 to $800,000, and the detached homes really from $800,000 to $1.25 million, as well as you'll find a few other sales throughout the waterfront area, as well as the rural mountains spread throughout. But to get a better picture of where each property type sells within Stony Creek, the majority of detached homes were selling really between $700,000 and $1.25 million. Townhomes were selling anywhere from $600,000 to $900,000. And condos were primarily selling between $400,000 and $600,000. And when you compare the median detached home sale price in Stony Creek compared to the other areas of Hamilton and the surrounding cities, you can see that Stony Creek is more affordable than Glanbrook, Dundas, Waterdown, Ancaster, Flamborough, Burlington, and Grimsby. However, the two spots it's more expensive than are Central Hamilton and the Hamilton Mountain. And the same is very similarly true for townhomes, as it's more affordable than Ancaster, Waterdown, and Burlington. However, slightly more expensive than some of the other regions because there are so many new options for townhomes to choose from. Usually the newer ones are selling at a bit more of a premium than some of the older ones that are less updated. And then if we look at condos, we can see, again, it's much more affordable than the vast majority of regions like Dundas, Ancaster, Burlington, Grimsby, Waterdown, and Glenbrook. However, again, being a bit more expensive than Central Hamilton and the Hamilton Mountain. Now, if you want to learn what you can get in Central Stony Creek, Stony Creek's Mountain, Winona, and want to learn what areas we would recommend for you and your family, send me and my team a message today. Regardless if you're thinking about making the move here, whether you're 60 days out or in 6 months out, we'd be happy to help you out. But then another pro I know so many of my clients relocating to Stony Creek absolutely love is the amazing schools that Stony Creek offers you. As if we look at the rankings based on the Fraser Institute, which if you don't know, takes the provincial standardized EQAO test and puts it into an index out of 10 that happen every grade 3, 6, and 9, we can see that a variety of these Stony Creek schools, as in total there were 22 different schools, were rated above the provincial averages, offering a variety of different public and Catholic streams, as well as some French and gifted streams. Then as for high schools, you're going to find 4 different high schools, 3 of which were rated in the top 10 high schools in Hamilton when I recently did my video. So you can be rest assured your kids are going to be going to a good school when living here. Now, often I find families who are interested in the school rankings are also usually interested in the safety. So if you want to learn about the safety in Stony Creek, keep on watching as we're going to be discussing that and more in just a moment. But then the next pro about living in Stony Creek is the amazing healthcare. However, in Stony Creek, you're not going to find any hospitals, but you're a part of Hamilton, and Hamilton has one of the best healthcare throughout Ontario with a wide variety of facilities. Some of the most notable ones would be McMaster Sick Kids Hospital, the Hamilton General Hospital, as well as Juravinsky Cancer Center. However, one thing you're going to be finding in Stony Creek that is a huge pro is the amazing parks and conservation areas you can enjoy. As some of the most notable parks that you'll enjoy when living in Stony Creek is Confederation Park, which is located on the waterfront on Lake Ontario. It has a variety of things to do, from amazing beaches to jungle gyms right beside the water, to great walking paths, beach volleyball courts, and more, including a water park and amusement center we'll be talking about shortly. Then another park you'll need to check out when living in Stony Creek is the Devil's Punch Bowl Conservation Area. As this is located just on top of the Stony Creek Mountain, you either can drive up it or take your stab at the hike to hike it up it and absolutely see this stunning views of just Stony Creek and Central Hamilton, as well as this unique 37-meter ribbon waterfall. Then, in my opinion, you need to check out the best waterfront park in all of Hamilton at the 50 Point Conservation Area, as not only is this just the largest conservation area right beside Lake Ontario, but there's a variety of things to do, as not only is there the best beach in all of Hamilton that you can enjoy during a sunny summer day, but there's also Hamilton's Marina, serving the needs of any boaters who like to fish or just chill on the lake on their boat. But here, this park is also known for an amazing spot for migrating birds to stop by. So if you're into bird watching or just want an amazing walk with so much nature around, this is the spot you definitely need to go check out. Then a few other couple parks that you'll need to enjoy will be the Felkers Falls Conservation Area with an amazing waterfall. You have the Heritage Green Sports Park, which offers a lot of different sports fields. So if your kids are in sports, you're probably going to be spending a lot of time here while living in Stony Creek. But also right beside here is one of the major cons that we'll be touching on in just a moment. But also within the Heritage Green Park, you're going to find the dog park here. Your dogs can run off leash and meet some new friends. And then one last park I'll quickly mention is the Ermos Crest Conservation Area to go and explore a variety of caves and walk on a variety of hiking trails. Now, if you're looking for some more indoor fun or fun things you can do on the Stony Creek Mountain in Central Stony Creek, there are a variety of community centers that are open year-round. The 3 most notable would be the Stony Creek Recreation Center that is found in downtown Stony Creek and offers an indoor pool and a skating rink, but you'll also find the Valley Park Community Center located on the Stony Creek Mountain, offers an indoor pool with a slide perfect for a kid, a skating rink as well as a library. Then you'll also find the Winona Community Center that has drop-in open gym times as well as sports games you can join, from pickleball leagues to volleyball, basketball leagues, and so much more. Then the next pro about living in Stony Creek is the amount of family fun that there is, as not only here are you going to find Adventure Village that has classic games like mini golf and batting cages, but also you can go mining for gold or even enjoy their evening laser tag events. Then also you can find Wild Waterworks in Confederation Park that offers 2 large slides, 4 medium slides, a lazy river to relax on, and a massive wave pool, as well as multiple splash pads for kids of all ages. And I know growing up in this region here, we used to frequent this a bunch during the summer times. Then another family fun activity you need to check out is the Starlight Drive-In Movie Theater to catch a movie under the stars, or go check out one of the Hamilton local sports teams that you're just a short drive away from, like the Hamilton Tiger Cats or the Forge FC. Then talking about pros families enjoy brings me on to the safety in Stony Creek, as according to the data by Statistics Canada in 2023's Crime Index, Hamilton's metropolitan area crime severity index was 59.5, which Stony Creek is a part of. Now, for context, this is lower than Vancouver, Montreal, Toronto, the Kitchener, Waterloo, and Cambridge region, Calgary, however, slightly higher than the Halton region as well as Ottawa. Now, it's been this way for quite some time. As you can see with this data here, since 2010, the Hamilton metropolitan area has continuously rated below the national average for both violent crime, non-violent crime, and just overall. However, if you want to learn more about the safety in Hamilton, what I always recommend you go do is take a look at the Hamilton crime map, and right from the source, the Hamilton Police Force. So I'll leave a link down in the description so you can check out all that there. But the next pro, perhaps one of my favorite pros about living in Stony Creek, is the amazing golfing that you have to offer, as you're going to find 3 18-hole golf courses in the Glendale Golf and Country Club, King Forest Golf Club, as well as the Scenic Woods Golf Club. Then you will find the Pros Golfing Center, which offers a driving range, a 9-hole pitch and putt course, as well as a mini golf course. However, the biggest con and the thing that stops my clients from moving in particular to the Stony Creek Mountain is the GFL landfill. This here is located right on the Stony Creek Mountain beside the Heritage Green Park, and it's one of the things you're not going to be noticing when driving around. However, when it's on a hot, humid day, I have some of my clients that will notice the stinky smells, and it's something you should be aware of before moving to Stony Creek's Mountain. Now, if you want help from me and the team to better understand which regions of Stony Creek or other regions of Hamilton will be the right fit for you, send me and my team a message today. However, if you want to learn more about another region that has everything that Stony Creek has and more, the next video I'd recommend you take a look at is my video breaking down the top pros and cons of living in Ancaster. So you can find that video right here. Otherwise, I hope you have a great day.